Hey, this is going to be some quick style commentary on ADC VIPER. I'm going to be giving you direct strategies and mindsets and approaches to the game that are going to help enhance your gameplay and assist you with your solo queue rank as an ADC. If you're a support, you're also going to get a lot of insights from what a support should be doing within this quick style commentary. Let's get into it. Although before I get into it, let me just say that I am coaching again. The link is in the description below. So if you want coaching with me, feel free to book. If you're low and you want coaching with me, drop me a DM and tell me about your situation, if you actually need coaching or not, because stuff like that is really important and you don't want to just be wasting your money if you don't need coaching. So definitely drop me your OPGG if you are looking for coaching, and I can let you know if it's something that might be a good fit for you or if you should do different things which don't entirely involve you buying coaching, but applying the knowledge that I'm giving out for free on these videos to help, again, enhance your rank. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing you want to consider here is it's going to be ADC VIPER. It's going to be Jinx versus Jhin. So the first thing you want to know is Jhin has an auto attack range of 550. Okay, Jhin has an auto attack range of 550. Jinx has an auto attack range of 525. With Jinx's empowered Q, not empowered, but her Q, her rocket mode, her auto attack range is higher than Jin's. Jinx also has higher wave clear in this lane, and Jhin doesn't have as much wave clear. Now, because Jinx has more wave clear, you can find recalls and you can harass and you can have advantages in respects to spacing, and you're going to have autonomy in the lane because you have a push lead in the lane. The second thing that directly contributes to this push lead is that you have a Pyke versus a Leona. So they're both melee supports and they're both all-in supports. Therefore, they cannot do anything to you level 1 if you're behind minions and you're spacing and they're not able to just... It's not like it's a Lux or anything that's going to be shooting out E's at you, okay? Granted, you also have to be aware of the fact that they are all-in supports, and therefore they can fight level 1 and they can all-in level 2, whichever one gets level 2, etc. Okay, let's get into it. So I want you to know one thing here. Even though VIPER came late to the lane, Jinx still has control of this lane because he has higher wave clear. Okay, let's watch. Let's see what happens. Auto goes off. Pyke opens with a Q. Jinx auto attacks the enemy ADC. And the reason for this, again, look, I want you to be really cautious when you consider this. I'm going to be telling you the most important thing when it comes to ADC, which is when you're trading, okay? This is one of the most important things when it comes to AD carry. When you're trading, you look at your own minions, because when you look at your own minions, you know when your minions are going to die, and you know when the enemy is going to hit them. Therefore, you know when you're going to hit the enemy. You're going to see this interaction be played out in a number of different variations throughout the lane, okay? Now, the next thing I want you to be really aware of, and again, this is probably even more important than the first thing I mentioned, okay? This involves you auto-attacking the frontline minions. You must take out these frontline minions. This is very important that you do this because you need to start pushing the lane, okay? So 2 things to consider. Look at your minions, and most importantly, start working on the frontline minions. Now, one more thing before we continue that I really want you to know. Do not auto-attack the enemy if that means you're going to lose a CS. A permanent 15 gold is so much more valuable than a single auto. You have to be aware of this when you're playing ADC. You must be able to collect your gold. Now, let's take a look as to what's happening here real quick. Again, looking at your minions dying, we're just working on the front lines, taking out the first wave. Jin's fourth shot comes out. Now, as you can see, because Jin's fourth shot is done, the enemy is exhausted. We're going to notice VIPER and Leona move up because of level 2. And now this is where our autonomy in the lane goes ahead and comes out. Now, there's 2 things you must consider here. Okay, the first thing you must consider is that you have an advantage in the lane. You have autonomy in the lane. The reason you have autonomy in the lane is because you have level 2 and they have level 1. And you can crash third wave, enemy can't trade against you, you're going to get level 3 first as well if you continue pushing, and you also have the ability to drop down a ward any time within the north side. Now, the best time to drop a ward would be to when these three minions are dying and this wave is pushing in, okay, this wave is going to come into them, and you have some time. Therefore, then you can drop the ward on the north side, and now when the enemy knows that you've warded, the enemy jungle is less inclined to come, and nothing really gets accomplished, okay? Here, of course, you can look for a fight, and if you've zoned the enemy enough, you can even deny some XP. Here in this case, the enemy's too close for that to ever really happen. And again, we're just working on our minions, and we're getting the wave slow pushed into the enemy. Again, cautious, be very cautious. Slow push, do not hard crash, because we want the next wave to lock. Okay, as you can see, the third wave ends up locking here. Now, if the third wave locks here, you can crash it and you can base. If the third wave doesn't lock and this happens, this is still okay. You can still just harass them and auto attack. So as you can see what's happening. Now, I want you to consider this one thing, okay? And this is for the supports that are watching this video. The best time for Pyke to go into Jinx and Leona is when these two minions are dead, level 2 comes out, and the next incoming wave hasn't arrived into the lane yet, onto our screens. This is because Pyke Q can't go through minions. So the less minions Jinx and Leona have, the better it's going to be for Pyke and Jhin, for Pyke to land that Q and for Jhin to get that combo off on the enemy. That's why Pyke goes in now. This is why Pyke doesn't go in later. This is why Pyke doesn't go in earlier. This is why he goes in right now. Notice these two minions are going to die. So 1, 2, get level 2. And now, again, we're walking up. This is because, again, the next wave hasn't arrived yet. And therefore, there's no minions for Viper and Leona to hide behind. Okay? So we back up. Q comes off. Now, the sequence that Pyke is attempting to go for here is to pull the Jinx, E, have Jhin auto, and then have a fort shot. Now, even though Viper has, I keep calling it empowered Q, but even though Viper has rocket mode Q, I'm going to call it second Q, just for the sake of the video. The reason Viper has second Q is because he has range advantage. So when the E comes out, Jin's just going to fort shot and back up. The idea is for them to stun the Jinx and back up, but unfortunately it doesn't happen. Right? Leona responds with an E, gets on top of Pyke, but has to retreat because of her HP. And again, Viper is now saying, okay, well, the enemy's on cooldown. This is not so bad. I can just crash the wave. And now all we're doing here as Viper is we're crashing the third wave into the tower. That's it. The reason we don't want this lane to be played long, when I say long as in I don't want to play the lane in this zone, is because Pyke can all in and it's not going to be too safe if we're not next to our tower. Now, notice what's going to happen again, right? You see how Pyke walks up again? This is because the minions from the fourth wave haven't arrived yet. And again, Jinx and Leona are in open space. Jhin is available. He can take this minion. Now, the downside is that he does want to be careful. You do not want to lose the cannon minion as Jhin, just for a little bit of harass. And he actually does lose the cannon. That's okay. Then we respond. Notice what we're doing is we're looking at the cannon minion as Jinx. Right? Notice what Viper's doing. Look at Viper's movements. He's looking at the cannons. He's backed up. Now he's looking at the cannon. He knows Pyke's Q is down. He auto attacks Jhin on the cannon. Autos again. And now notice he's spacing back up. He's spacing into the Jhin even though Jhin has fourth shot available. The reason for this is because Jhin has an auto attack range. Again, I mentioned this of 550. Now, because he has an auto attack range of 550, we have a higher auto attack range because we have Q2 available. So notice how Jinx moves up and enemy ADC can't do much. And now at this point, again, Leona is a little bit low, so she would like to base. And as you can see in the wave, because the lane wasn't in the greatest spot for us, the red wave is bigger than the blue wave. Therefore, the wave is coming into us. We know that the fifth wave is here. We know the sixth wave is coming in. It's a cannon wave. And so we're going to go ahead and pull the wave. That's why we're not hard crashing, because we want our Leona to base. Okay, we back off. This is all fine, and it seems like here Lee Sin ends up arriving. And the enemy gets a bit baited, and Viper does know that he can get this kill. Finds the kill, does the same to Pyke. Pyke ends up flashing the W. Maokai comes in a little bit late. Unfortunately, not able to find anything. Not really sure what Maokai was going for, and now because the lane is in a pretty waiting spot because of that gank, we're just going to crash and we're ideally just going to base. Pike ends up showing as well for some reason. I don't know why. But that's okay. I'm not really sure what the point of that was. I think he's just trying to waste some time, which is not so good. And now this is actually pretty good for Jin, because Jin can come back and hard crash this next wave. Because he should be here soon. There he is. And now he's going to crash the next wave, and he's going to have the next wave after this crashed wave returning back into him. And so it's not the worst lane state for Jin, although it's not winning considering Jinx does have a kill. And now one thing I would never consider, by the way, and I don't agree with look, I think it's fine to do this in Challenger, but I wouldn't do this in like bronze or platinum or gold or diamond, or you know what I mean? And what I'm talking about is the pink ward. The control ward that you purchased doesn't give value because the wave is coming in. Your support already has one, and I understand having a control ward is good. In this case, it's actually, you can use it, you can make use of it, but in low elo, you won't be able to make use of it, and therefore, there's no reason to ever really buy a pink ward as an AD carry, especially with the wave coming into you, and with the fact that if you're playing ADC that doesn't really have control of the lane, then you're inevitably going to lose that pink ward anyway. Okay, and as the wave ends up arriving into us, all we're doing again is just CSing and slow pushing the wave. Okay, this was it. This is our quick style commentary. I will be doing more videos, and I'll be covering all aspects of the game. Again, I am coaching again. Feel free to book with me via the link below, and we're going to be going over more videos around ADC mid game and ADC late game and ADC team fighting, itemization, etc., in the next coming few weeks. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.